We're going to get straight back to your calls now on whether the government should bring back winter fuel payments for all pensioners. We've got Derek on the line from Northamptonshire. What do you reckon, Derek? Should it have been left as it was, even if it means that pensioners get it who don't necessarily need it?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I
Morning.
agree. Not everybody needs it, and I know quite a number of people have said that they would rather go without it and offer it to some other more worthy cause. But I think we need to come to some sort of compromise situation. I'm probably not the first to come up with this suggestion, but I have heard that there is a proposal that people who live in houses banded A to D should get it. So therefore people in higher tax bands who are more wealthy would therefore not get it.
OK, I'm going to come in there, Derek. Just because, I mean, we're talking about council tax bands, OK? So we're talking about the value of your home. Your council does a very spot check on your home and then they give you that council banding. But here's the situation I think a lot of older people find themselves in. They lose a partner. They're in a home and it's a big home and costs a lot to heat. It doesn't necessarily mean they've got a lot of money, Derek. And that's what they need to get through the winter to pay their bills.
Well, I think it probably does mean they are still wealthy, because obviously if they're wealthy enough to have bought such a big house, they probably still have large reserves of cash, is my thinking. But, I mean, this scheme is not working, from what I've heard, because more and more people are claiming pension credit. They didn't used to do so because they didn't think they needed it. But now it's costing the government more money than they anticipated.
It's reckoned.
It's not such a saving as they anticipated.
It's reckoned there are 1 million pensioners that could claim pension credit but don't. So that is a big sum of money that's waiting there for people. And that's something that we ought to say. If you are losing out on your winter fuel payments, it's really worth checking whether you qualify for pension credit, because not only would you get those winter fuel payments, but also pension credit is a benefit in itself and opens the door to lots of other really useful things.
I agree with what you're saying about people being in a bigger house, or not necessarily a mansion, but it's always been the thing that property was always the saving. So you bought your house and all your money went into your house, and you're sitting there and you may be just completely cash poor, and that's
you can move out of your house and then unlock cash. There are people in society who don't own homes, who can't even afford their rent. I suppose the question is, do benefits go to people who are asset rich, i.e. own expensive homes, or to people who own nothing, perhaps have 3 children and don't want the 2-child benefit cap?
But they might not be expensive homes, they might just be a home.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it's you know, as I say, you're sitting there in a house, so you're secure, because you're always told this is your security, buy a house, and you can't afford to heat or...
Nina, would you prefer the 2-child benefit cap or for this means testing of the winter fuel payment to exist?
Well, it's like saying, would you rather give treatment to a young child with cancer or to an older patient with Alzheimer's? There are choices that have to be made.
What choice would you make?
I'm fortunately not in a position to have to make that choice. You cannot make that choice.
I think what Derek brought up, though, that is really useful is that maybe an alternative way of looking at the means testing or the criteria, you know, some creative thought around it that maybe, you know, the one that he came up...
That's why I'm saying a kind of means testing for everybody.
Will they always be imperfect, though? You can't draw a perfect line when you're making criteria.
It would be fairer.
OK, let's take some more calls. We've got loads coming in. Janet's in Kent. What do you think? These payments back to everybody, regardless of what they got in the bank and where they live, Janet?
Yes, because they get it in different ways. There's 2 or 3 different smaller things they could do. When you're 80, you get an extra 25 pence a week. Well, they can take that away because that's worthless.
Okay.
Christmas time, every pensioner gets £10 Christmas bonus. That's worthless. So they can take that away. When you're 60, you get free prescriptions. Well, they can take that away and get free prescriptions when everybody gets a state pension.
But what we're talking what we're talking about there, Janet, are benefits which are really useful to a lot of people, and it would be used...
if you've got a life-threatening condition, you get free prescriptions anyway.
Yeah, but we heard from somebody...
Regardless of what age you are.
Our first caller actually said that they took the winter fuel payments and they spent them on Christmas presents for the kids. And that's what that would be subsidising. So you're taking somebody's treatment, somebody's prescription that they may not be able to afford otherwise, and you're giving it so some people, maybe only a few, can get Christmas presents for their kids because they don't need that payment.
The thing is, Janet, I was going to say, I quite agree with you about the prescription thing because, you know...
If you're still working, why should you get free prescriptions?
Well, exactly. I was going to say it hasn't moved along with the times because if the pension age is 67, you're potentially working until you're 67, you should therefore be able to pay for your prescription. Now, not everybody can be working, but it should go in line with the pension age. I think that's an ingenious way of freeing up a little bit of money.
I think that
it's a place to start and to see where it ends up is my argument.
Yeah.
I think if you think there was uproar over removing winter fuel payments from some people, wait till you take away free prescriptions. I think
until the age of 67.
We need to start having as a society. What is it that do people actually need from the state, and let's deliver that well? And what is it that people don't need from the state? And I'm actually quite surprised to hear that basically all the callers have said they think this is a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the conversation we are literally having right now, Albie. That's what we discuss every day, is what do we need, what can we afford? And we'll carry on doing that for as long as we can. Thank you for your call, Janet. Thanks for all your calls on this.